Hello, everyone. Today we are going to explore Auditoria AP Invoices. AP Invoices assists your AP or procure-to-pay team in classifying and extracting data from documents like vendor bills sent to the team's shared email inbox. With the aid of AI models and access to AP data from a system of record like your ERP or spend management tool, Auditoria's smartbots are capable of classifying documents, extracting data, pre-keying vendor bills for review, and generating vendor bill records in your ERP or spend management tool. On the AP Invoices dashboard, users can view metrics on mailbox activity, such as the number and types of documents coming into the mailbox over different periods of time. On the Documents tab, the SmartBots automatically create a work list of documents that have been received in our inbox. Each invoice is matched to a vendor account from your system of record, and upon drilling down into an invoice, I am presented with a review screen where the SmartBots have extracted the fields from the invoice. I have a preview of the document to easily review what has been extracted for both header fields and invoice lines. In this example, the SmartBots found a purchase order number on the invoice, matched it to the vendor in the system of record, and matched the invoice lines to the purchase order lines using fields like the description, rate, or amount for each line. This also allows the SmartBots to code the invoice lines according to the purchase order. Invoices can also be linked to other documents like contracts, and list data from invoices can be fuzzy matched to data from the system of record. While reviewing, I can make edits if necessary, and Auditoria's machine learning team can track these edits to improve accuracy over time. When I am finished reviewing, I can click the Write to SOR button to create the vendor bill in my system of record. Upon uploading, the entry moves from the Active Data tab to the Written to System of Record tab. This provides a historical view of all entries that have been written previously. For invoices that are not initially matched to a unique vendor record, users can directly train the software to do this in the future using vendor hints. Here, I can use other information from the invoice to map to the correct vendor record and entity, which is helpful when the vendor name in the system of record is different from how it is named on the vendor bill. The SmartBots can also handle a variety of ways in which vendor bills are received to the mailbox. Whether documents are received in PDF, image, spreadsheet, or Word format, or sent individually or multiple at one time, the SmartBots can extract data and create separate records. Here, you can see that multiple files were attached to one email, and in this one PDF, there are 7 separate invoices. In this case, the SmartBots created 7 separate records instead of me needing to create them manually. The SmartBots can also read invoices in many languages and currencies, helping with the international invoices that are received. Here, I can see where the SmartBots have read an invoice in French and even suggested default coding for this invoice that is not backed by a purchase order. This is based on bill classification defaults that I can set in the vendor record inside of Auditoria. The SmartBots will also check for duplicate receipt of invoices so that our team does not spend time reviewing invoices that already exist in the system of record or have previously been received by Auditoria. They do this by checking the invoice number, date, and amount for the vendor, and even background metadata like the file hash of the document. If a duplicate is determined, the SmartBots create a note that the duplicate was received instead of adding it to the Documents tab. Using Auditoria AP Invoices helps reduce AP workload while processing large volumes of vendor bills at high speed. This allows teams to refocus efforts for exception handling instead of manually keying invoices, helping companies avoid late fees and gaining visibility into true AP balances and expected spend levels.